Hello there, I hope you all are doing great. Welcome to session 4. So just let us continue our journey in learning sketches and karaoke. Today we're going to talk about hatchings. As you're concerned, in the sketching we are designing, we design anything that is not necessarily realist. I just want you to do not consider sketching a realist or real thing. So it is different from realism. We just want to convey the message in a rapid way. And the message here is not no forms and volumes. Right now their messages are the colors, darkness and lightness, and also the material. Our tools in a sketch to show or display the material, darkness and lightness, and also the depth of view, and also texture is hatching. So we use hatching to display the mentioned items in sketches. We're going to practice hatching, so make your pencil and paper prepared. We're going to initiate with hatching using or by pencil. Let me zoom in. For hatching, first of all, let me define a range for ourselves. So then I would do the hatchings inside the range. Watch this. Don't worry if your lines are not straight enough. Here for hatching, we're gonna do the same thing that we eat in drawing sketches. As you can see, to start drawing these lines parallel and patiently, there is no need to rush. In the continuation, I want to do the hatchings in different methods and then tell you which one is not correct. This is not correct in hatchings because we continue the lines to the end or till they are intersected. Well, they are intersecting the another line. So as you can see, these lines are not considered as hatches because the lines must be parallel with each other, this way. And in order to show their density in the textures or materials, we can draw the lines close to each other, or we can modify the spacing between these dotted lines to show the differences between the textures of the materials. So this is the correct way for hatchings. Scroll down. In order to show the darkness in hatchings, sometimes reduce the spacing between the pilot lines, and sometimes we draw lines and then we mix them or combine them with diagonal lines, as you can see. So as I add these diagonal lines, I am just showing the darkness like this way. Then if you wanted to add more darkness to the texture, you just need to change the direction and add more lines. So like this way you can create a contrast. But in order to practice and initiate hatching, you'd better to define a range by this way. First of all, you should define a range and then divide the range into 5 or 7 parts. For instance, I can divide this range to 5 or 7 squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Like this way. As you can see, then the first point is going to be the darkest point, and the last circle I'm engaged is going to be the lightest one. Then I start adding hatches. The first one, I fill it with the sketches. As you can see, this is going to be the darkest square or the darkest section of the range. So, and then I just write my pen smoothly under paper to show the lighter part of the range, like this way. Then the next one, watch this. So I start hatching on these skewers. The first one is going to be the darkest section, then the second one, and the last one. This way. I draw these lines for the second section, and then the fourth one, the third one, it's more like this way. Check this out. So we just create a range from darkest to lightest. All other than active sections, 5 to 7. Then if you want that, you can specify the borders using a marker or ink pen. Following that, for our next practice, as you remember, we broke on some circles, as you can see in the screen. Here, I want to show you some connection parts between the circles. As you can see that I want you to make them bold, like this way, to distinguish them. And after distinguishing these connections between circle, start hashing them, like this way, in different directions. And I want to darken the corners more, like this way. Here, as you can see, with that other parts or other connections, let me zoom out. You can fill this part with hashes. So just look for different geometries here between the circles and then fill them with the patterns of hashings. And as you remember, we had a go-off network. As you can see here right now, we can look for some geometries like rectangles, like this way. Make your borders bold, and then we can fill them with patterns. Patterns of hashings. We can start from high density, and then we lower the density, like this way. Note that we are not coloring these, okay? We are just dragging the pencil in a rapid way and adding some paralleled lines or parallel patterns, as you can see. However, we can add some curved lines as well, like this way, to complete the hatching. Very well. And the next practice, let me complete this, then I go through the next practice. Anyway, I think we're done. We talked about 3 types of practices. Firstly, we talked about the range, the darkest and lightest, and then finding patterns of circles and the graph. Please put time on practicing these items, and when you are prepared with hatchings, we can use hatchings for showing the darkness, lightness, field of view, materials, texture. Take care. See you then.